Welcome to the Shine Strong Roundtable series. This is the second in monthly roundtable discussions tackling the various issues that prevent women from being their best and, of course, how to overcome them. Today we're tackling the topic of labels and how women can redefine them. In previous discussions, we talked about how labels have significant effects on people. On women especially, there are double standards. We have to admit, yes, they are. And these labels are not exactly temporary flashes. Oftentimes, they linger, and sometimes they really completely influence our lives. But there are also women who are creating their own terms, and these are women who literally set their own definitions. Labels are not taken at face value, but are flipped around. They're turned from weapons into armor, and it's something that you can proudly wear and even call your own. So today we are joined by three women, all accomplished in their various fields, and who have flipped the labels attached to them. They are Bianca Valerio, a model, host, published author, and mother. Hi, Bianca.
Hello. I don't know where they look like. Hi.
We also have Jessica Tan-Gan, the daughter of a fashion icon and marketing director of Tan-Gan. Hey, Jess.
Hello, Issa.
Nice to have you here. And of course, we also have Reese Fernandez-Ruiz, a CEO and social entrepreneur.
Hi everyone. Hello.
Hi. It's going to be very, very nice after
let's
relax.
Shake it off.
It's time to shine strong, definitely. And of course, we encourage everyone to please join in our discussions. So, labels. Let's admit, so many have been thrown our way, be it since we were what? Grade 4, grade 5? When did it start for you guys?
Since I was a kid, basically. I think coming from, let's say, when they find out you're from Ayala, Alabang, then you probably are a brat, you're mata pobre,
mayaman.
Or you're mayaman and with no depth, basically. Or,
shallow.
Yeah, shallow. Usually, that's why now I never say where I live. I just say Muntinlupa, or I just say, I don't even say the South, because even the word South has connotations to it. It's sad that your address determines what kind of person you are.
Well, according to other people. That's why labels. Reese, Jess, how far do you remember first things you were, called?
I was called. High school was a breeze. Everyone in my high school was pretty nice. It was more of after maybe in college. When I
late. That's at least late. That's a good thing. That's actually a good thing because it starts really as kids.
Because I went to Brent for high school. So when I went to Ateneo, like even the teachers would point out, international. You're from an international school, and kind of pointed out that we're no special than the other students, but I never said I was special, But
the thing is, they brought it up. It's so bad that a teacher was the one who brought it up, right?
Yeah.
What about Reese? Reese, do you remember?
Yes, it started super early, but then it stopped after high school.
How early is super early?
Like, sorry, I've been to so many schools. So that's also a big factor because you're always a new person.
So it's easy to target
it's
you.
It's so easy. And
super.
Yeah, if you're the new one.
Yes.
But like grade 2, grade 4?
Yeah, maybe grade 1.
Oh, that early,
grade 1, grade 2. And, kids, they can be very mean. They don't know yet how to control like what they see. If they see that,
no edit button.
No edit. Pero that was okay. Kasi that was medyo, they're kids. It's physical description, like Chinese and everything else associated with being Chinese. Like all the food, everything. So they'd call you that. But after a while, it progressed into something meaner, something deeper. And that was harder.
And that's what we're going to get into right now. Okay, the labels that I'm sure are thrown out of your way, I'm going to tackle one by one and let's see who got it, okay? Maarte.
Yep.
Same. Slut.
Why? Okay, wait. It's going to progress. It's going to progress. Why maarte? Why is that so, actually now I see mothers, we're both moms here already. Reese, you have a little one, not yet quite. When you're like, maarte tong batang to. When you hear that, why? What do you think?
I think that word. When you have certain standards and people don't understand why you have standards, they think you're maarte.
But when they associate maarte, kasi like you probably play with your mom's lipstick.
Yeah.
When you start playing, or you like pink.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to define it. Because I
Yeah.
guess I was just trying to explain that when they say you're maarte, like hindi ka nakikisama, or
that's a
or it
different
could be-
level,
Yeah,
huh?
there's so many levels to it. But
That's
let's say
true.
in school, when I was in school, I was also a newcomer. It was the 5th grade, and I had nice things. My parents gave me nice things. So because I had nice things, and I was maarte, and it gets to you when you have 0 friends.
Actually, the little things, like I used to be bullied, well, not bullied, but I had this special sharpener.
Yeah.
Right? And just that, because there's a sharpener in every classroom.
Yeah,
but I like to use
But you have
my
to have your
sharpener,
own,
the
yeah.
pink one, like with a
Yeah.
flower or something.
Yeah.
And you're right, you'll be called ang arte mo.
Yeah.
Why? Because of this one little sharpener?
Yeah.
So I wondered, I understand Bianca's. What about yours, Reese? Why maarte?
Well, I'm very expressive and I like singing and yeah, mga ganon. So little things like that could, and the way I speak English, lalo na when I was a kid. I guess
When they're like
That's
English
true.
talking.
It's like, oh, she's from the States. Oh, she's so feeling. So
Why are you speaking English?
Why?
Yeah. And I haven't been anywhere else in the world. That's also probably why. But I watch a lot of TV.
I
so
live here all my life.
Yeah, they're like, did you come from the States?
Yes, they always
And you're also
ask
targeted
that.
for that.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, what's the English era kasi?
Yeah.
Right? That's another label.
Social, saucy.
Yes.
Yeah, alabang girl. Yeah.
Social. Wait, I'm sorry.
Social.
I want to hear from Jess with this one. The whole
Social?
social term coming
I'm
from
sure
Bren.
I've heard it, but it never really bothered me.
Would you be
Because-
bothered actually being called
Because I just find it funny. Like, what does it even really mean? But okay, because I know who I am, and I guess when I meet you, or when you meet me, you'll probably change your mind
Yeah.
and not think I'm this socialite or whatever they think, right?
Because we're much older and wiser now.
Yeah.
But again, going back into what was the first label then that hurt you? I mean, we're laughing at it now, of course, because we know better now. But at that time, what was the first label thrown at you or said about you that upset you?
Slut.
How did it? How
Yeah,
did you hear,
definitely.
or was it called to your face?
I'm very malapit to boys. I was a tomboy growing up. I have no problem, talking to them and stuff. And coming from an all-girls school, the popular girls didn't like that, And when you don't have friends, you have no one to defend you. After a while, you actually start to believe maybe I am a slut. Maybe it gets to you. It
Yeah.
digs.
'Cause it hurts.
Digs deep. Yeah, but I have to say, years later, when I've made something of myself, I've actually confronted those guys at bars, and I'll say,
Really?
don't worry, no cursing here. I'll just be like, they'll be like, wow, Bianca, you're so famous now, supermodel, grabe, galing. And I'll be like, oh my God, you remember me, so nice. Okay, so tell me to my face that you, me. And
You
they'll be
you
like,
said you
yeah,
slept with
I
me.
really say it to them because now it's like, now do you
Now
have the
you say
balls
it,
to
yeah.
actually say it to me? I tried committing suicide like several times. No, it's okay now, and even in school, and I even got suspended for it because I was
upset you.
attracting bad attention.
Yes.
Rather than the school trying to help me, maybe something was wrong, I got suspended for it. So it's really, really sad that I think schools really need to see this as a social issue, that it's not just, mga bata lang yan.
Yeah, and it's not
There's-
just one problem.
It's real. These kids are going through something that they'll usually, a lot of parents say, kasi, you know what, when you're as old as us, that's nothing. But to
But
these
they're
kids, that's
getting-
everything.
But that's your
to get through
world.
it.
Yeah. How about
exactly.
you? Yeah.
Yes, so I totally agree. I've been called so many things, but I think the
Most
the
painful.
most painful one is something that I have to contextualize because it's not normal.
Okay.
So, oh my gosh, first time ever gonna say this.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
Sure. Okay, great. So, so a lot of people in high school call me Tikoy girl.
Tikoy
I know
girl.
that's a Chinese.
That's the
yeah.
sticky, and that's the one when you give during Chinese New Year.
I
You
love
put
it.
together
So
forever,
good.
right?
Yes,
It's for
yes.
togetherness.
And
So-
it's actually a very good thing. So,
Exactly.
My mom, kasi was a missionary worker, and then on the side, she used to sell delicacies like
Yeah.
tikoy in our neighborhood. So for me, it was a sign of I wasn't enough, and that my mom is doing something that's very shameful. But actually, in retrospect, it's not.
Yeah.
So it's such a noble thing to do, but I didn't see it that way because
Yeah.
everybody said it like it was a bad thing. Like I'd go inside a classroom and it's all over the blackboard. Like, as in, I'm the first one there and I wonder, okay, ang aga nila. Effort. So talagang they'd put it everywhere. They'd put it in vandalism sa CR. So it's that bad. So parang I attributed that label as something that means you're poor or you don't mean anything.
Yeah.
And for some weird reason, it wasn't even about me. It was about
Your
what
mom.
Yeah, it's about what my mom does. But it's actually a perfectly good thing.
Yeah,
and
she's
now,
working, and that's what inspired you to become an entrepreneur
yes,
yourself.
exactly. But for some reason, people thought it to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So parang, and when they say it and create songs even with that, they're so hardworking bullies. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard work to be a bully. You have to create songs, you have to make up names, and yeah, when they were saying it that way, I felt na, oh wow, it must be a bad thing.
When did you start believing it's not? Like when Bianca shared that?
After high school, and when I was in college. So I studied in Ateneo, and I talked to a lot of Jesuits and took a lot of philosophy and theology. I placed things into perspective, and I realized that, you know, it's not a bad thing, and people are probably finding it hard to process what my mom does, or you know what people do for a living most of the time.
But you know,
So-
I feel for both you and Bianca. Before I get to Jess, I feel for both of you because those are not the norm. Like how the school dealt with you,
Yeah.
and how you had to talk to Jesuits. You're asking for help.
Yeah.
You needed help. You know, psychological help at that, because it does get into you. This
It
is how
does.
damaging
Yeah.
labels can be, and it's not even bullying at its worst.
But
It's,
you know,
it's just a
on-
label.
On a positive note, though, before we get to Jess, I
Uh-huh.
think, you know, in a way, you don't really know what you're made of
Until you get there.
you actually are put in situations like that.
That's so true.
Maybe I would like to believe that maybe I wasn't meant to be helped because it's like, you
It's
know,
for you.
the universe was saying, no, man, you can do this. Like, you just gotta dig deeper. So I used to be called a victim. I'm a survivor, and I
Yes.
love it.
Exactly.
So.
And okay, 2 terms. That's the thing so far. With Bianca, again, it's not very, very painful. When it comes to Reese, it's Tikoy girl,
yeah.
which is an
love
economic,
Tikoy.
it's
Yeah,
an economic,
too.
you know,
It's so
label
popular.
target.
Yeah, socioeconomic,
Exactly.
yeah,
Socioeconomic. This is what makes it interesting that I kind of put Jess last. Jess, as the international school girl, right? It's actually up there, but at one point it can get insulting too.
Yeah, it's
And
like
it's
you were
very
kind of
limiting.
shy about it because they made it an issue when
Yeah.
it shouldn't have been.
But how did you feel when it was brought to your attention?
There was just one class I remember. I remember
Go,
clearly.
yes,
Because
please.
he like really like made it clear that it was me, and it was a chemistry class. So what does chemistry have to do with the topic, right? But I soon realized that it wasn't really about me.
How did you bring it up? Because like you said, you remember it clearly. This is the thing with certain situations in our lives, and I'm glad all 3 of you remember clearly when this label was assigned to
Trust
you.
me, we never
ma-
forget.
It makes a mark. It makes a mark. So how did your professor, you know, put it out there?
He just did. Like, suddenly he just said, you know what? Kids from international schools are no better, or sometimes have less of a standard than children from local schools.
Did you feel your classmates like looking at you? Did everyone know who he was talking about?
I think so, because I think it's the only one. But I mean, it bothered me at that time. But I realized that it wasn't really about me. I think the professor might have had his own issues. Maybe
Yes.
something happened to him in the past.
Yeah.
So I didn't take
Maybe
it
he wasn't
personally.
accepted.
Yeah, I think what's important is as much as the labels are directed at us or to people who are bullied or judged, labels on a positive, like in a way that's not derogatory. For example, teacher, principal, a lawyer, they take their labels to, sometimes they don't use it responsibly.
Yeah.
And so they feel that because kasi since teacher siya,
He can say
then
whatever
he must be
wants.
right,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
About international school.
That's true.
So really, it's the use of a label of a title. It really must be used with such responsibility.
And I like the range of the labels thrown at our guests today, because it's not all, bad or poor or bad words. Even the high ones that actually some people aim for can be a label that will work against you.
If I can share though, more recently, the maarte. I worked together with Mo Twister, and a lot of people know how he is, and I did an episode with Ellen Adarna, and wow, I think the whole country sent me so much hate mail, even death threats, because I didn't agree to look at do really stupid, lewd things to exploit her.
Even though she was game.
Even if she was so game, God bless her, she was so game. But for me, she's someone's daughter, she's someone's sister, she's a woman, she's like me. Just because game siya, game din ako. It's like,
so they were saying you're like the killjoy.
I'm the killjoy, I blue ball them, I should be fired, I should die, I should not be a woman, grabe, OA. But anyway, I felt so terrible, but at the same time, I also got good mail that was like, your daughter would be proud of you, or it's like what
The
you did
smarter
must have
ones
been
would
really
know.
hard,
Yes.
right? But I think the epiphany for me there was, I would never really have known what my principles or how strong they were had that situation not come up, because it was live, right? And so I'm glad. It's like, you ask God for things like, God, make me a stronger person. He's
And it
not
just
going to give it
comes.
to you. He gives you situations where it'll test you for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Bianca. One thing I think we can all agree with, still on labels before I move on to the processing of these labels and overcoming them, taray. Mataray. That's one thing I know. That's the one thing I would personally like to share, because with me, like with Jess and all of you, I remember clearly when it was first assigned to you or handed down to you or called you. It was called, I was called that. I was in grade 4, and we had just finished like a game, like a soccer game or something, and we won, like blah blah blah, and like for some reason we were just all having fun, like yan, why are you friends with her? And taray na babae yan, right? And I was right behind and with one of my best friends, and like, what does that mean? And then you get to know them like later on in the year. They're like, ang bait mo pala.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Because it's your face. Because apparently there's something with my eyebrow that's always
You got
up,
good eyebrows,
right?
girl.
Because this one eyebrow's always up.
Yeah.
People are like, we thought you're matara, you're unapproachable, you're blah. But in the end, that's not my loss. It's yours, because you thought that
You
way.
already had a preset notion based on my appearance.
And I wasn't even doing anything, right?
So, but I think we get that, but I don't mind if I look mataray or I look intimidating, because like you said,
it's a natural filter already.
Because
the people who matter will approach you, will make that extra effort.
Who will make that, not even effort, who will just not have preconceived notions.
Yes.
Those are the ones worth talking to. And then then for me, it's like, kung ayaw mo, di wag mo.
Yeah,
diba?
it's your loss.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's also a reflection of their personal insecurities, of
Yeah.
what they're afraid of.
Labels are never about the
Exactly.
person you're
Yes.
attacking. It's
It's
about the person
giving.
saying it.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Reese.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's what a lot of kids, especially today, like it's like they feel that their worth is based on how many likes you get on posts and stuff, and
Who tags
it's sad,
them.
but that is the world today. Social media is what is hello, we're in Rappler right now, right? But I think the thing is, it's Jess mentioned earlier that when you really have defined yourself, when you know who you are unshakable. It doesn't
It won't
matter
bother
what
you anymore.
people say. You're just parang what do you call it?
In one ear, out the other.
exactly.
So let's help our viewers then get to that
Yeah.
point, because still the pain, I saw it in all your faces. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yes.
So how does understanding come? There is a process behind it. We all wondered, why are they calling me that? Right? Why are they calling me
Yeah.
that? What came next naturally? Were you thinking of those other people? Or in Bianca's case, you thought of yourself.
Yeah.
You doubted yourself.
Yeah, like you actually believe that those
Yes.
labels
Like a
Exactly.
self-fulfilling
So-
prophecy.
Yeah.
So what comes
Yes.
first then? Your processes, please share the overcoming of the
Yeah.
labels then.
So when I was younger, my process was very unhealthy. It was like, okay, they called me this, what should I call them?
See, you wanted
like
to
that.
attack.
It's
You
like
wanted
that.
to retaliate.
Exactly. And maybe at some point I was able to do that as well. You know, the cycle of bullying is a very vicious one and it doesn't stop. So at one point I tried that, but I didn't find peace in it.
Yeah.
I felt that, okay, making somebody feel smaller doesn't make me feel bigger.
Yeah, just it's a coming up of
Yeah.
I can come up with better terms than you.
Yes.
Tiko, you'd
Yeah.
be like sticky rice.
Yes, diba? Like mango pudding.
Yeah,
So,
mango
I think
pudding.
Come up with all desserts. Magugutom lang kaming lahat. But it's
You're just stooping down to their level if you play the same game.
exactly.
But you couldn't help it. See, that's
in
the
the
thing.
beginning,
It's instinct.
yes.
Yeah.
You want to defend yourself.
Yes.
That's
yeah, but
why.
I you know, everything that we're talking about though, they're so cliche. Like, you know, I think ultimately what people need to understand is, like when we were saying kanina, when people give you labels, it's not about you, it's about them. I think parang it's so hard sometimes. Parang what does that mean? I think, for example, if I call you Mataray, you know, it doesn't mean that you are Mataray, right? Because you know the truth. For me, I've had an experience of a lady selling tikoy who had a raised eyebrow, who didn't smile, and she was Mataray to me. So based on my experience, girls, women like that who have the raised eyebrow, who don't smile, Mataray. Then when I meet you, because I already
It'll
have the
break.
trauma from that experience, I assume that you're Mataray. So I hope you guys can understand.
Assumptions.
Yeah, the assumption.
That's also
that when you
unhealthy.
give labels, it's based on your experiences
Yes.
and not necessarily about the person you're
Yeah,
directing
And don't
it to.
generalize.
Yeah.
And just because you had a bad experience, we're not gonna say like your professor was not a good guy, or
No,
just because it
yeah.
happened once. Not everyone
Exactly.
is like that.
Yes.
So I think
Yeah.
Bianca's onto something. Like when you were saying something about like putting yourself in the position of others.
Yeah.
Like even if your aggressor is somebody who would hurt you with words.
Yeah.
Somehow the way to process it is by looking at it that way. That okay, this is the pain that maybe this person is
person is-
going through
yeah.
or has gone through, and maybe that sort of reflected on me. So it doesn't become about you, and that doesn't diminish you.
Yeah.
But it becomes a wall. It becomes an armor. But it also acknowledges the humanity in another person. So I think that's a pretty good way of processing it.
It's you just have to really try and understand and
Yeah.
be understanding na
Empathy.
parang alam mo siguro ang dami niyang hinanakit sa
Yeah.
buhay.
Yeah.
Well, again, the labels that I understand the two processes, be it from Reese and Bianca. Obviously, trying to put ourselves in the shoes of other people, but still on the attack side, one more label I wanted to ask Jess about: COO,
Oh yeah.
Child of Owner.
Oh, I gusto ko narinig yun.
Child of Owner.
You never heard
No,
of
I've
that?
never heard of that.
Oh.
Okay.
How did you feel about that? Because that's exactly like you said. That's who I am.
It is who I am, and I'm always Lulu's daughter. I always will be. And then in the past, you know, when you're younger, whenever you're introduced to people, oh, this is Lulu's daughter, or like, I'll say like, oh hi, my name is Jessica, and of course we're here. They're like, what's your last name? So that they can kind of define you and put you into a box like who you are. But I'd always be so shy to give my last name because immediately after I give my last name, I'm Lulu's daughter.
Yeah.
So in the past, I would, because I don't really like the attention on me. So when I'd get the attention, I'd be like, yeah, like what does it
Yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
after, I'm
How's
like,
the process of owning it? for
yeah,
you?
after when I've been working with our company for maybe 4 years now, and I've seen my mom work, and I've seen what she's accomplished, and
Of course
yeah, I'm
you're
gonna
proud.
own it.
Yeah.
I am Lulu's daughter,
Yeah.
and she's awesome, right?
But that's the positive side of it, really. It's for some, I think the other end of the stick here is it's so easy to attack people. Again, you don't know because you're out there doing
Yeah.
something. You've established something for yourself, and you're obviously a legacy in the next stage, the next generation of something so successful already. So it's so easy to attack you. it's not necessarily overnight then that you do put yourself in the shoes of the people who attack you. That's already what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
We're trying to understand them. We don't get there overnight.
No.
No, yeah.
How do you get there?
Well, mine maybe is, obviously the paths that we've taken are
Very,
so
very different.
Right,
That's why I
yeah.
love the discussion.
There was this one time I was just in front of my TV, and I was sick and tired of just, being really sad. I was 4th year high school. I read a lot of self-help books because I didn't have any friends, being bullied. And I just said, God, just help me turn this around. I don't know, just help me, and I will dedicate my life to helping other people.
The faith.
Yeah, and it was so. I remember it. I was in my t-shirt, panty, like Lola panties.
Thanks for the image.
Yeah, I was like 4th year high school, and I just felt the TV. I'm like, God, just help me. And since then, I that's why I give talks to bullied kids, and I wrote my book, which is for charity.
100% is donated.
Yeah,
the
all my
profits.
royalties go to charity, and it's a self-help book. And I know a lot of people say, I don't need help. It's self-help. More like a motivational. Everybody needs help.
Yeah.
Everybody needs
Yes,
some kind of
absolutely.
healing, whether or not you admit it or not.
Yes,
Right? So that's the path that I took as a host. We want to entertain because I feel like they
Give
say
it back.
a lot of comedians, they say, are the saddest people
They're
in
the
the
most
world.
tortured.
Yeah.
So I think when I entertain people and I make them smile, it takes away from my pain. But now, okay na ako. Okay na ako. Carry na. Yeah. So.
Hello,
Yeah.
anybody?
Yeah.
Reese?
Well, I think there are several ways of dealing with it. I dealt with it on a personal level as well, but you mentioned
Giving
a
back.
very beautiful story about that. But another one I think is a small group of people who accepted me during high school. And people would tell them, don't go with that person, you'll get into trouble. People will fight with you as well because they're fighting with her.
Yeah.
But they didn't care. They just sat with me during lunch. They just really went out with me anyway. We went out during prom. So you have that small
True
group of people.
friendships.
Yeah, and I thought that I wasn't just thankful that I had them. I wanted to be like them. So because I wanted to be like them, I thought, okay, what would it take to be like them? I have to be a better person. And so yeah, you kind
more-
of work.
No more fighting back.
Yeah,
No
you
more
want
fighting
to
back.
live
No
up to
more
a
bullying as
standard.
well.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
because they want to make you a better person. And I think if you find that group of friends, like even if it's a small one, even if it's just one person,
Yes, even just
That's
one.
just a
That's
true
so
connection,
important.
right?
Yeah.
I want to actually bring up something Bianca already mentioned, which totally applies to Reese, the giving back factor.
Yes.
This is what Rags to Riches is
Yes.
all about. So
Yes.
how did you, get into that?
I just realized that for a long time I focused on myself and my pain. For like, I'm so upset, I'm such a victim. Why are they doing this to me? It's all about myself. And I didn't find happiness in that. I didn't find fulfillment in that. And then I met other people. So it may seem like I just met other people recently.
Continue to meet new people in their lives.
Exactly. So I met other people and they have pain in their lives that are so much bigger than mine, but they have so much love to give. They have so little on their table, but they'll give you everything. And so that touched me in a different way. And I thought, these are the kind of people I also want to be like.
Yes.
And when I focused on them and like how we can partner and transform each other's lives, because I'm not just transforming their lives, I'm also making myself better, a better person, a better leader, a better Christian. So all of these different things that we can work on together, I realized that if you focus your attention on another person other than yourself and your pain, you kind of take your own pain away.
Exactly.
For some
Very
reason.
therapeutic.
Very.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a different process again for Jess, like owning something that it's not it's not negative. It's
Yeah,
very,
actually,
very positive.
I mean,
where you're coming from.
Yeah, when they call me like Lulu's daughter, it's not an attack at all.
not.
It just
But it's
comes
still a
with
label.
it. It's still a label.
And it is a fact.
Yeah.
yeah, Lulu's daughter biologically.
So
But
how
yeah,
do you
COO
rise up
and-
to that or own it?
Well, because I know who I am. I mean, if you're talking about process, I've always been fascinated with psychology ever since high school. So I can kind of read people.
You're a people reader.
Yeah,
Hey, that's rare. A lot of people things just fly over their heads.
Yeah.
So since high school, I've been very interested in psychology. So I study people, not professionally, but you
Yeah.
meet people. So sometimes when someone's saying something, I don't I don't like
Take
process,
it for what it is.
take it for what it is. I'm really trying to see what is he trying to say, or what is he feeling, and why is he saying that to me.
Yeah.
And because you've been exposed to so many kinds of social circles, be it from the ones who actually supply the materials for your business
Yeah.
to, of course, the social circle being even abroad because you're marketing Philippine products to foreigners, to ambassadors.
Yes.
So it's a big, big mix in Jess's world.
Yeah, I think we all, in general, people need a lot of understanding, and communication is key. Because if you can't communicate how you truly feel, then a lot of the things get misinterpreted and, throughout the way.
Yeah. How do you say that? Can you say that you finally come onto your own too? Like, yes, I'm a proud daughter of Lulu, but I'm
Yeah.
also me.
Yes.
And this is my calling card.
Yes.
Right? This is me.
Yeah.
Do you
And-
feel you're there already?
I think so. I think I've been there for a while. A lot of people would always think that I'm kind of competing with my mom because
Really?
yeah, I get that a lot. You're like, don't you get, but I'm like, I'm not there to take over her business. I'm there to, help her and work together. And it's been a great journey. So I don't mind at all. I'm blessed to be able to work and, experience my mom and her career and my career, and as we grow together.
I'm going to flip it around then. From negative experiences to negative labels or anything that's imposed on you, I want you to share with me now labels you'd like to achieve. That's a totally different thing, but it's still a label, right?
Right. Sorry.
I
Don't
love,
take it-
you know,
don't take
I
it
look
from
for
me.
moments
Yeah,
like,
like, what do
when I
we
make
wanna
my,
be?
my guests think of it, because it does catch you off guard. Because after all this negativity, I can only hope that, people watching us, sharing with us our
I
experiences
feel like
with
we're in
them.
a pageant.
I know.
Yeah, it's
no
like,
pressure.
damn.
But they
Yeah.
obviously learn a lot, but they'd also like to dream with us then. Because that's
Yeah.
also the next step. It's a hard process already to try to think on the behalf of the attacker, put ourselves in other people's shoes, try to make things work for ourselves and owning these labels. But we're also allowed to dream and give ourselves our own labels.
I think because we are already in a position where, we have a name for ourselves and people put us in the spotlight, I think people also need to remember that we're also just people. We're also just human, and we're not perfect. We don't.
Human.
We don't wake up with a hashtag.
human.
I woke up like this.
Yeah.
Like no,
probably
it,
did.
it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah,
and
true.
and I think, I mean, I'm so blessed that I'm so happy where I am, that I just want people to remember that I'm not perfect. So I don't know what the
Human. I
label
like
is.
that.
Yeah,
It's human.
just human.
Accepting that I'm human.
Because I'm still, I will want to be a mentor to people. I want to help people. But
Mentor.
that puts me in a position of like, you can't screw up. You have to be like this. Do you know what I mean? But I would like to grow with people.
Into that.
I would like to, I'm getting there. I would like to get there. So for now, I'm just human. I'm learning with you. I ache with you, and I'm feeling with you. So rather than fight me, let's do it together.
I
you
love
know?
that.
Yeah.
Love that. Human mentor,
Yeah.
definitely.
Label.
Yeah. Your personal label, and this is the twist. You are giving this to yourself. I think that's really the difference between attacks,
Yeah.
labels as attacks, and labels as something we would like to define ourselves
Yeah.
with.
Me, I guess a woman or an
Woman.
a
Woman.
woman. A
How
new
old are you?
definition of not a girl. Okay, I'm 28, but what I'm saying is, I feel that in today's world, the definition of a woman or a girl has been over sexualized.
Absolutely.
I want to be natural.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So just a woman.
Just a reminder that women are natural. We're not all out to, what do you call it, like seduce, and we have brains.
We're not
so we
sexual
have
beings for the sake of just being sexual. It's
Yeah.
part of us, but it's not all of
all
us.
of us. Yes.
I like that. Woman.
Yeah.
Woman. How about Reese?
Wow, it's very tricky because I like human as well. I think there's a lot of room to grow, and sometimes when you've established yourself, people sort of think that you have it all together. and they expect a lot of things from you. And as a leader, I get that a lot as well. So human is definitely one of them. But another one I'd add to the mix is empowered.
Beautiful word.
Yeah, because I think
Beautiful
empowered
word.
gives you a chance to grow. Still, you're not in a box. You have a chance to realize yourself. And so it's like, for me, empowered is like a process of getting there. But it's not a point in time when you're already successful and you're so inspiring and that's it. But that you're growing into something.
Well, I came up with my word just well, I was playing with that earlier already, just hearing from you three. But me, evolved.
Yeah.
It's a process. You're right.
Yes.
Evolved, and it'll never be the same. It'll never be we're all growing. It's taking away from all what you three shared. So beautiful.
If I can share, I think just what happened right now is sometimes when people say the word human, it means that that you're not that you settle, that you're not perfect. I think we have to elevate what also being humans mean. I mean, we were born into this world to create, to do things, and to collaborate.
We're on the top of the food chain.
Exactly.
We're the
So,
ones God gave to actually man the earth, to man all this, to be the stewards of this creation.
And we weren't really born here to destroy other people,
Exactly.
right?
So you being human is a great thing.
Yes.
And if to the kids, because I'm a mom, like I like my focus really is to the kids. Just listen, when people label you, it's just because they need some sort of control. They need to box something. It puts a system to things.
Or we also have to understand, it's also maybe their way of understanding.
Yeah, what they don't understand.
Exactly. So maybe they don't necessarily mean to destroy or to attack, but it just comes off like that.
It's their process of trying
Exactly.
to make things something more tangible.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they say, "Oh, you're like that."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think, now that I think about it, why are children so judgmental? Is it because they're being influenced by their parents or by teachers? So maybe that needs to be put into light too. How are they learning to become bullies?
True.
How are they learning to label?
True.
I'm not gonna lie, I think social media plays a big
Oh
role.
boy. That's why we're here at Rappler.com. We can only hope discussions like these get out there and people listen
Because
and they can see there's another side
That's
to
the
it.
only time they can become brave and they become like these keyboard warriors where they can rant out because they hide behind avatars, and that's where they throw all their angst to the world without a care in the world because they know they'll never be reprimanded. They're not going to get caught.
Well, that's exactly what we're fighting against. Shining strong and, making labels our own work for us.
And we're using our voices.
Exactly,
to-
our faces and our voices and our names. You're not supposed to hide behind any of that just to feel strong or just to be who you are.
That's not being strong at all.
Exactly. That's the total opposite. It's called cowardice.
Yeah.
It's called being scared. That's why thank you to all three ladies for
Thank
being
you.
so
That was
forward,
so
for being so generous, for being so
you.
honest. Obviously, thank you very, very much for joining us for our second Shine Strong Roundtable discussion. And again, these three women set their own definitions. They took the labels that were assigned to them and made them positive or work for them. From something that stopped them, hurt them, they became things that motivated them. So please do continue to share your views and join in the conversation by using the hashtag #ShineStrong. Thank you.
Thank you.
I told you things just flew today.
Sorry.
Thank you. That was fast.
Amazing. I'm freezing to
Can
death
we
though.
take a photo?
Yeah.